So can you still see my screen or no?
Nope, I think you have to stop and reshare.
Okay, I'll share again. Okay,
There we go.
here we go. Yeah, okay, so we focus in pre-seed stage to Series A. We actually have 9 companies invested so far, so that need to be updated. We run venture capital type of due diligence for all the companies we invest before we ask our angels to syndicate with us. If you want to join us, there are 2 ways. One is for the investment fellowship program, or if you're really senior, you can apply to be a venture partner. Our investor event, the deal day is open for all investors in our network or our friends to participate. And also we start to do some knowledge-based events, presentations, and we're also going to invite our investors and our to participate. We had a climate investment bootcamp last year to help emerging investors interested in climate tech to tell them what to look for in this vertical. And this year we're collaborating with UC Berkeley to launch a certificate program on this front as well. So if you're a startup, you want to get funding from us, you can go to our website at vectors.earth. Yes, so yeah, so the vector direction, we really care about the impact you have, while the financial return needs to be very good as well. So that's why we're called vectors. So the companies we invest, we highly encourage them to also do a pledge. So what kind of impact you want to do down the road. Okay, stay involved. So we always welcome deal referrals. As we have mentioned, the investment fellowship program is a 4+2 months program. And the next cohort will start in July 2012. Okay, and then we always welcome venture partners, family offices want to look at deals with us, co-investors. Yeah, this is our winter 2022 cohort members. So they just started a couple weeks back. So they're part of our team looking at deals together. So if you're stuff interested with our winter cohort deal team, here is a full bio of our awesome 9 new investment fellows joining us this year. And we're also launching a Climate Frontier Fund. It's a $50 million fund, early stage venture to invest in the companies, particularly in the climate space. So if you're a climate technology company and looking for funding, you can also apply to be considered as a pipeline company for the Frontier Fund. If you're really ambitious to join our fund as a venture partner or partner, you can also reach out to us. We also have a synthetic biology plus climate $1 million SPV case fund. This is for those LPs who are particularly interested in this vertical and can have regular meetings. We have biweekly meetings just to talk about this, and we'll find one company to do a lead investment position. So if you're interested in particularly synthetic biology and climate, you're welcome to participate as well. Okay, and I will pass it to Ping Ping. Those are all the awesome companies pitching today, and I hope you all having a great time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, actually, Jane, please leave your screen on. I'm going to request a remote control so that I can flip the slides. Oh, there you go. Okay, nice. Yeah, never mind. So yeah, so welcome to our, thanks everyone for joining our deal day. This is going to be a quick recap of kind of the logistics and stuff. And so basically, these are the companies that will be pitching. There will be 14 companies today. Unfortunately, Tomtex, due to an unexpected accident, they cannot join. But each company will have 5 minutes to pitch, and after the 5 minute, we'll have a 2-minute polls for investor to vote on like what they think about the startups that will help our decision in moving forward. And then the next company pitches and so on. And then after every company has pitched, then we will have Q&A at the end. There are 2 companies that couldn't join us for Q&A because like the time zone is too late and they sent only their recordings. If you have questions for the startups during the pitches, please feel free to drop it in the chat. And otherwise, you will have a chance to talk and network to each other at the end, which I expect approximately will take 2 hours due to the number of companies that are pitching. While you're pitching, I will give you like a 30 seconds and a 1 minute sign on annotating on your screen to let you know that like your time is almost up. And yeah, Jane, can you go to the next slide? Yep, so these are the Syngenta Mars Materials. These are the companies that we're gonna pitch. We're actually going to have an investor committee meeting for Dana tomorrow, I think, as well. And so investors can join. I already sent an email, but feel free to ask me for more details if you haven't got it. Yeah, and then after the 2-minute poll, I'll give the results right away while the other company is pitching, so you can take a look. And then, yeah, for investors, if you're interested in any of the companies, please feel free to give me, send me a chat or an email. We'll be happy to connect them if you would like. And yeah, at the end of the Q&A, if you would like to just like network with each other, you can stay in the center room instead of the breakout rooms where each company will be holding their own Q&A. So yeah, Jane, is there any slides after this? Okay, yeah, we're gonna go through this and then after that.
I think that's all the slide.
Okay, perfect. All right, then we will proceed to the first company, Carbix, I believe. John,
Yep.
Quincy.
I will stop sharing. And you can also send our investors a link to join our investor database to receive company updates.
Okay, I'll send it in the chat. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Jane, stop sharing. Then. So let's see, you can go.
All right, I'll go ahead and start now. Hi, I'm Quincy Sammy with Carbix. And nearly 8 million plus lives will end prematurely this year because of dust and gas, not because of COVID, because of air pollution and CO2 emissions. We're calling on industry to reverse this. Industries like the cement industry that emits nearly 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. But the cement industry is not alone, as many other industrial players also release their emissions directly into the wind, where it's transported across the world on the jet stream. Carbix is going to capture those point source emissions and turn them into stone. Not just any stones, specifically carbonates, the mineral grit that will become the bulk of future raw material for cement and concrete products. And our entire process is carbon negative. We start by capturing point source CO2 emissions and injecting that into our reactor. We add water as well as a blend of mineral and waste oxides. Inside the reactor, CO2 combines with the mineral and waste oxide and creates carbonate, which then stores CO2 permanently for nearly 1,000 years. The process is similar to nature, where when CO2 is piped underground or carried as a solution in water, it will also turn to stone, but over thousands of years. And the Carbix X1 reactor, we cut this down to a few minutes and a few hours. We do so by injecting UVC treated water along with mineral and waste oxides into the Carbix reactor. The reaction is pressurized by CO2 partial pressure, catalyzed. And we also catalyze the reaction by high and low speed mixing and finally with using heating. Post-reaction, the carbonate slurry is ejected from the reactor where it's placed into molds and it's cured into its final product application. And this is a team that's going to enable the pilot and commercial success of our operation. Vineet Deej, PhD in fluid dynamics, is also an expert in gas flow and also developing numerical solvers to optimize our end-to-end reaction kinetics. Myself, I have over 10 years experience in clean tech design and engineering, and we're supported by our amazing advisor, Dr. Sami Dotwani, also a PhD in chemical engineering. We've been in constant dialogue with multinational cement producers as well as multinational industrial producers. So we're happy to announce that we have 3 LOIs, NDAs, and MOUs that represent a potential $50 million in revenue over the next 3 years. The opportunity to tackle global emissions begins with the construction and materials industry. It's valued at nearly $1 trillion. We're focused on the cement and concrete space. Concrete is the second most used product in the world. The only thing that we consume more of is water. We make 2 primary products, calcium and magnesium carbonates, as well as oxides, clean oxides for OPC. We can also harvest nitrogen gas as a waste gas with third-party providers, depending on the project. Since our process is carbon negative, we can also sell our carbon credits on online exchanges. The X2 reactor is our go-to-market commercial size reactor at 1.25 cubic meters. In total, it can store nearly 16,000. It can produce nearly 16,000 tons of carbonates, storing a gross ton of nearly 6,000 tons in CO2. We have 3 primary revenue streams that are driving our profit margins towards 40%. In comparing the competitive landscape, there are 2 critical factors that set us apart. Our capability in designing and developing end-to-end carbon capture systems, as well as our novel photobioreactor that's designed purposefully to work on site of a facility to fast batch CO2. The X1 MVP, which you've seen, is our first version low volume reactor. We're raising our seed round this year to scale it to the X2. The seed round of $2 million is most of which will be spent on direct development of the X2, commercial size, and also the CCU facility and infrastructure. In addition, 35% of that spend is going to go directly to hiring and recruiting to bring on additional talent. That's going to help us generate more pilot projects and work with more facilities across various industries. The way that cement and concrete is made today is simply not sustainable. Carbix has a sustainable process and a scalable technology. The excuse that no technology is available doesn't hold water anymore. We have it. So if you're an investor, join us in this opportunity of creating net negative and net zero communities. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. That's right on time. So I'll put up the polls and the Carbix. Everyone see it? All right, while the poll is going, Chris or Sean from, not Sean, sorry, Chris from Taka Solar, you can get ready for.
I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, I think, well, there's 10 seconds left for the poll. I think everyone has already finished it. So, okay, there's one more person. All right, time's up for the poll. I'm gonna end this one and then share the results. And so, yeah, Chris, you can go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here, and it's nice to see DCs joining in. As we say in our tagline here at Taka Solar, our mission is really to use the spaces we already have to generate the energies that we're going to need. So if you look at the US and the plans to go all in on solar with EVs as well, that's great, but you're going to need a lot of large scale systems if you use current technology. The only real drawback to solar is the need for huge amounts of land. And the current plans actually would require an area larger than New Jersey or Vermont. But putting solar on site can actually solve that issue. The problem is that rooftops, even large commercial rooftops, are generally too small. On the other hand, parking lots are 5 times as large, but they're still right at load, and they offer shade as well. The sad part is they're the most expensive way to do solar, and they're typically only at schools or public buildings where cost is not the primary driver. And the cost is dominated, in fact, by mounting. It's $5 of mounting structure for every $1 in panels. Well, why is this? It's actually the panels themselves. So flat panels are like kites whenever there's any wind present. So all that money you're spending is not to hold the panels up, it's to hold them down. Additionally, tracking can give 20% more energy from a panel, but it costs money, it has moving parts that can fail, and it's almost exclusively done at utility scale. So to solve this, Taka has totally rethought what a solar panel could be. We use aerodynamic tubes with a core to the drag, which directly simplifies mounting. And our patent-pending approach uses only standard solar cells and commodity glass tubes, so it's affordable to manufacture. And the shape intrinsically captures light from all directions. So you can track the sun without any moving parts, and you can do it anywhere. In the case of parking lots, by slashing the mounting expense, that's really the biggest lever on the finished system economics. You also get full coverage and tracking, so you're going to get shade and more energy out. Additionally, EV charger experts have told us that just trenching across a parking lot to lay wires can cost over $500 per foot. But Taka's overhead grid can easily power the EV charger at every spot with zero trenching because you already have wires overhead. Now, these same exact tubes can actually, if you space them a little further apart, they work very well over crops. Taka is currently testing our tubes at UC Davis and has already shown significant improvements in crop growth versus full sun. You can see here, we produce substantially more biomass than if there were nothing present at all. And you get a bunch of energy all from the exact same plot of land. Thanks to this good work, we've won multiple prizes and grants from the Department of Energy, as well as the California Energy Commission. And we have multiple patents, as well as patents pending on our technology. We've already proven the tracking benefit on sun. And as you can see in the graph here, at 5 o'clock, when electricity is most expensive in California, we're producing twice as much energy as a standard flat panel. I also worked on hardware reliability at Amazon for several years, and I learned to do key tests early on. So we've already done the critical ones like hail impact and water ingress. And in terms of market opportunity, parking lots and agriculture are each enormous potential markets. We're going to start, though, with the entities that are already buying, as I mentioned before, government buildings, schools, universities. But Taka does have letters of agreement from many potential customers. There's the manager of North America's largest fleet of electric school buses, also a university and a hotel, and even multiple vineyards. You can see Frank here came and saw our system at UC Davis and immediately wants to install it right where he's standing in the field that you can see there. So we're excited to have interest from the wine growing industry. Now, David and I, along with our key advisors, have decades of experience commercializing renewable energy technology. And our business model is really consciously capital efficient. We want to be fabless, like Apple or Arm or SunPower. And we're already working with D2 Solar and ICSN. They're a full service provider in Southern California with solar manufacturing experience. We've been supported in all of this by DAP National Labs and the folks at UC Davis helping us with our SBIR. Now, by leveraging contract manufacturers, Taka is going to be able to grow quickly. That makes us an attractive early acquisition target for parties like SunPower or Tesla. But we have multiple product lines, and the magnitude of the market opportunity makes Taka a realistic IPO candidate. The seed round is going to be focused on the pilot and getting to first sales with break even in 2 to 3 years. We've raised over $700,000 already, mostly from grants, but there is a potential phase 2 for $1.1 million of further non-dilutive funding. Customers are telling us we need to put our panels out at demonstration sites, although interestingly, only 3 months is enough field data to make sales. The key milestone now is to make those get the pilot array out so we can make the first sales. Customers are asking for this, but we need the resources to deliver. We're excited to work with you to bring our game-changing product to the world. Thank you.
Thank you. That was quick. Let me end the poll, stop sharing the poll for Carbix, and then put the poll out for Taka Solar. Okay, and after that, is anyone from Dana here today? Okay, yeah, Dana has a little difficulty.
Yeah, I think Udi got stuck in Israel.
Okay, that's kind of sad. Anyways, but for investors, we will have a Dana Investor Committee meeting tomorrow, I believe. So please feel free to join that. Otherwise, Robert from Terro, are you around? Yay! The screens look nice. Okay, well, we have a minute-ish more for the poll, and once that's done, you could get going on your part. Okay, the 2 minutes up for the polls and ending it and sharing the results. And so, yeah, Robert, you can get started.
Perfect. Before I begin my presentation, I'd like to ask everyone a simple question. Do you all drink beer? Do you know that your beer can help the world replace single-use plastic? That is correct. My name is Robert Luo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Terro. We use big data to turn agricultural waste into compostable biomaterials. We want to solve two of the biggest problems that happens every single day in our life: food waste and single-use plastic. By doing so, we invented a proprietary technology that can upcycle a variety of agricultural waste, ranging from plant-based to animal-based. In fact, we have already filed 5 patents to protect our technology. We extract polymers such as protein, fiber, and starch from these agricultural waste. Then we modify the polymers by using a unique method called grafting, where we covalently bond monomers onto polymers to create different type of mechanical structure that can be made into compostable biomaterials. The first market that we are targeting is the water-soluble packaging industry, which is dominated by a single material called PBA or PBOH. It's a fossil-derived material. Our SOM by 2030 is projected to reach $1 billion, which is the 20% of the all PBA industry. We have successfully developed the world's first plant protein thermoplastic. If you're not familiar with the term thermoplastic, it is commonly used for fossil-based plastic and starches, describing the multifunctionalities of building materials that we use every single day. Now we're able to create this thermoplastic that has a good processing and can be reshaped over and over, which means it can be recycled over and over again. From now on, protein cannot only be eaten, but also be used for our daily consumer products through traditional plastic processes and machines. The future looks much brighter with our new technology. On the right side, you see the image. Also, I'm holding up right here. This film is made from beer waste. We source the beer waste from our partner Budweiser. This film can home compose or industrial compose within 180 days. It's also water degradable. Given that it has been made into thermoplastic, it can also be heat sealable. Our material is primarily made from protein, so it has good oxygen barrier and could potentially be edible. At the end of its life, it will break down into water and CO2. Several applications have already been developed with our partner. For example, we are in the paid pilot with AB InBev. They're the largest beer company in the world, to create product label for their beer. We are in another paid pilot with Unilever to create a 100% bio-based detergent and laundry pod for their personal care products. Given that our material is edible, we have made into edible sachets. In fact, UK has recently banned single-use plastic ketchup sachet, so we are a good replacement for a problem that they have. Not only does our technology apply to biomaterial, it can also be used as the ingredient for pet food, which is a growing market all around the globe. In terms of LCA, we have done a CO2 emission comparison. As you can see, that Terro pack beer, our trademark, has much lower CO2 emission compared to PVA, the fossil-derived material. 90% of water in our process can be recycled and reused, meaning we can use much lesser energy or even using renewable energy to cut down our costs continuously. In terms of pricing, once we reach commercialization, our cost is projected to be lower than PVA for two reasons. First, we use agricultural waste that come at a very low value. And second, we use a different manufacturing process that is more efficient compared to the ones that PVA is currently using. Here is a list of awards that we have won in the past year. As you can see, there's a high demand of our solutions from the general market. And here is a list of partners and clients that we have worked with in the past year. In fact, AB InBev and Unilever have already co-financed our projects. And we are signing another paid pilot next month with one of the biggest starch producers in Southeast Asia. This year, we are initiating our pilot production with 100 to 200 tons. That can give us a projected revenue between $500K to $2 million. By 2024, we will be ready for semi-commercial production, and that will give us an additional 1,000 to 5,000 tons of production and revenue between $5 to $20 million. And going forward, we intend to license or outsource our technology to bigger manufacturing facilities because our process can be used on conventional plastic manufacturing machines, which means we can scale up quickly. I want you to imagine the future of Terro with me. We are taking low-value feedstocks such as the ag and food waste that we're using. Also, we are exploring using plastic waste and CO2 waste to feed it to microbes through precision and AI fermentation platform that we're currently building. In return, we will get this recombinant or synthetic plant protein. These plant protein polymer can be used as the ingredient for food, for shampoo, personal care products, even for biomaterials like packaging material and textile fiber. At the end, we want to become a one-stop protein material data solution providers for other companies to join us on this revolutionary quest. Social impact is at the core of our business. By 2030, our goal is to upcycle 40 million tons of food waste that can help us replace 20% of the all PVA and 15% of the all single-use plastic film, or also known as LDPE. In return, we can reduce around 269 million tons of CO2 emission. We are currently raising $1.5 million on a safe with a 10 million cap, and we already have 300K committed, and we are in final due diligence with several VCs and family offices. Lastly.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, time's up anyway, so I'll put up a poll for you guys. Terro. Okay, let me see. Next up, would be okay, so Kigüi. Hopefully I pronounce your name correctly. Okay, let me see. Okay, I have a video for Kigüi, so let's see. Yeah, so for Kigüi, it's a little late for them since they're in Buenos Aires. I'm gonna show the video of the pitch. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to send it in the chat. I'll make sure to pass it over to Maxi, the founder. In the meantime, let me take a look at docs. Okay. Oh, can everyone see Kigüi's screen? Actually, let me stop sharing for a bit. Stop sharing screen share sound to master video clip. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll for green steel printing. And actually, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm sharing the result for green steel printing. Does everyone see the video for Kigüi?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, I will go ahead and play the video.
Hi everyone, I'm Maxi, co-founder of Kigüi from Argentina. Let me tell you a little bit of what we're doing. Only in supermarkets, expired food that is thrown away represents $170 billion a year. Yes, $170 billion. Have you ever wondered why a product that expires in a few days costs the same as one that expires in 3 months? Well, it's incredible, but supermarkets can't manage stock by expiration date. The traceability is lost when a product enters the store. This is very important to understand. Who pays this cost? Most supermarkets, unfortunately, just don't care enough. They only perceive direct costs for what they produce. Food producers are the ones that suffer this because they accept these products back. But in reality, this also costs you, me, all consumers, because we end up paying for this in prices. And we cannot forget about the environmental impact created by the production of food that ends up thrown away. This is a huge opportunity if we understand who is willing to act and who is willing to pay. We created a groundbreaking solution to solve the problem for producers involving the consumers. So with Kigüi, the next time you find a product close to expiration, you will have the opportunity to help the world and get rewarded. How does that work? We created an app where we encourage consumers to purchase these products and we incentivize them with discounts that are compensated in their accounts. Let me give you an example. Most producers recall yogurts with 7 days left to expire. We offer a discount to buy any yogurt with less than 10 days. Those are products that otherwise would be thrown away. And we do this without integrating with the stores. Then you can use it wherever you shop. And we can instantly offer producers a solution available at every point of sale. And we avoid the impossible task of relabeling products to offer discounts. And we do all this while empowering consumers, saving money in their purchases, and helping the environment. Startups like Too Good To Go are on the way to becoming unicorns. They offer a marketplace that connects restaurants with the food surplus and consumers. Others do work with mass consumption, but by requiring product movement, their solution cannot be adapted to point of sales. We at Kigüi are starting with mass consumption products wasted at the stores, and with our approach, we can instantly offer a huge variety of goods that people buy every day. As you can see, we're already closing agreements with some of the biggest food producers in the region. They save these return costs and they even increase sales. At the same time, they get consumer behavior data in all their channels. With Mauri and Gonza, we met while studying an MBA, and we fell in love with this problem. We even decided to quit our jobs to find the solution. We combine expertise in operations, sales, technology, but what is more important is that we know this issue like no one else. We started the year working on a food traceability software for supermarkets, but even though we had initial traction, we realized it would be very difficult to scale. These process changes take a long time. So we decided to pivot and include consumers. We are being very successful saving food with our MVP, and we are looking to achieve product market fit. We will be raising a seed investment round in a few months to build the biggest marketplace for all food surplus in LATAM. While I was talking, 1 ton of food was wasted. Working together, we will save all the next ones. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think that's it. Let me stop sharing and then pull up the poll for Kigüi. Okay, while that is going. Okay, for Azolla, I'm going to be showing the video as well, as Lola's connection might not be very stable. So I'm gonna get ready on that. Okay, is everyone seeing like my kind of YouTube screen of Azolla's pitch?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Oh, okay, let me see. All right, 1 second. Okay, poll for Kigüi time is up. I'll end that poll. I'll share the results and I'll start Azolla's pitch.
I believe that addressing the climate crisis while maintaining economic growth is one of today's biggest challenges. I am Lubica Hanacek, and making things in a way that protects our planet is Azolla's North Star. Most people look at carbon as a huge problem. Well, we see actually an amazing opportunity. We see carbon dioxide as a raw material for production of next generation textiles. The impact of textile industry on our climate is deeply personal to me because I spent 20 years running around the world looking for cheaper and faster fashions. Here are some deeply disturbing statistics. Polyester production is responsible for over 800 million tons of CO2 every year. The greenhouse gas emissions of global cotton production is equivalent to driving a car to the sun and back 1,000 times. The amount of water used to cultivate cotton in India alone would more than meet the daily needs of 85% of India's vast population. We have been making textiles the hard way for centuries. I understand the complex value chain of textile production and know that fibers are the first building block and account for more than 60% of the pollution. In contrast, our unique manufacturing platform is using only 3 key elements: CO2, water, and light. The biomanufacturing in nature is one of the oldest industries on planet, and our CTO was inspired by this elegant process. Combining it with the latest developments in genetic engineering, he designed Azolla's industrial photosynthesis. Azolla's novel approach leverages a genetically engineered organism that converts CO2 into a pure biomaterial through photosynthesis. Because our material is biologically produced, we can engineer it to unique functionalities. For example, we can engineer it to be super strong for workwear, antibacterial for athletic wear, super absorbent for towels, and much, much more. We want to inspire designers to create amazing products they are now only dreaming of. What is truly amazing is that our process can be a simple drop-in into beginning of a supply chain for downstream processing using existing equipment. You can see textiles everywhere you look, in your closet, all around your house, in your car. There are industrial textiles, and the market is only projected to increase as the population grows. According to McKinsey & Company, 55% of fashion companies aim to source half of their products with sustainable materials by 2025. But today, only 1% of textiles is labeled sustainable. This represents a huge market opportunity for Azolla. In order to bring Azolla's technology to market fast, we are adapting a licensing business model. Based on our initial TA, Azolla has the potential to reach $100 million in revenues in only 6 years. We have developed a technology roadmap that will be de-risked along the way as key milestones are reached. Currently, we are working on completing POC. Next year, we will build a pilot plant that can produce 1 ton of biomaterial a day, and we will partner with innovative fashion brands that are looking for sustainable fibers to co-develop products. At scale, we will sell licenses to manufacturers to build their own modular manufacturing units based on their needs. We have a team of dedicated professionals with industry experiences combined with innovative scientific talent devoted to bring our technology to commercial success. To complete the proof of concept stage, we are raising $500,000, which will be supplemented by grants and will give us a 12-month runway. These funds will be allocated to support R&D and protect our IP. By generating revenue stream from waste, we are creating a market-driven, profitable solution to climate crisis.
Okay, I think that's it for Azolla. I'll bring the poll up. With that, stop sharing. Okay. Next would be ElectricFish. Fola, you can share your screen. Yep, that looks nice. We'll do 2 minutes of the poll and then we can continue. Okay, all right. Fola, you can start.
Fantastic. Hello, everyone. My name is Fola Azolla, co-founder of ElectricFish. It is my absolute pleasure to talk with you today about our mission to build the utility of the future and provide accessible, resilient vehicle electrification. As we strive to electrify our energy usage, especially transportation, to achieve decarbonization and climate goals, it becomes harder to ignore the challenges that an aging grid, ill-suited for current and future needs, presents. It is expensive to achieve the upgrades required, installation and permitting timelines take prohibitively long, and concerns with demand charges and low utilization deter investments with slow ROI. So what does it take? We need strategic deployment of distributed energy resources that can not only supply the energy we need for charging electric vehicles and other loads, but also do it reliably with confidence in their resilience. We need these resources to integrate with central infrastructure and, in fact, augment service in supply-constrained areas. We also need to ensure that these resources are efficiently utilized, de-risked, and provide investment returns. Products that can plug into the rapidly growing EV charging market, utilize those assets for the even more valuable grid resilience and services offering. That is what we are building here at ElectricFish. Our patented integrated system module, the 350 squared as we call it, is a 350 kilowatt hour battery pack that can supply extreme fast charging at up to 350 kilowatts. We have a plug and play model, exterminating the need for trenching and cutting down on permitting timelines to deploy our bidirectionally connected energy storage module with 40 kilowatts connections that are compatible with local hosting capacities. We site our units intelligently with our patented decision tool that we call Community Resilience Score, or Core Score, which uses data streams that include local power shutoff risk, traffic flow, and site analytics to give us insight as to where we can provide the most value. Our goal is to deploy ubiquitously, leveraging networks of energy storage around feeders to further optimize our resilient service. We are distinguished by our fast installation timelines, able to go live as quickly as in 8 weeks, And our top of the line charging speeds provide up to 100 miles in 5 minutes. Our fast ROI allows us to break even in as little as 3 years. We gain revenue from EV fast charging, grid backup energy and capacity services, as well as incentives in local markets that are available. Our revenue share model allows us to provide value as well to our site partners who are right now, gas station owners and fleet owners, and they have the option in our hybrid model to either lease or buy these units while we operate and manage them. We plan on scaling to capture significant DC fast charge market share with 3,000 operational units by 2025, which allows us to deploy 1 gigawatt hour of distributed energy storage capacity and a projected revenue of $535 million. And we're able to abate 5 million tons of CO2 cumulatively by then. We're an experienced team of 4 co-founders, 3 of whom are full-time. We have expertise across mechanical and battery systems engineering and design, hardware and software stack development, energy systems optimization and deep decarbonization, business development, and operations management. We also have a slew of brilliant advisors, contributors, and immensely valuable community support systems. We deployed our first pilot unit at the Lacretz Innovation Center in Los Angeles in December, and have demonstrated our plug-and-play value proposition. We have 1 patent in on our system integration and hardware stack, as well as an allowance in our 2nd patent on our grid intelligence software. We have signed LOIs with an auto dealer as well as with an electric bus fleet operator. We also have a waitlist of 50 gas station site partners around the country. We've closed about $800,000 in pre-seed funding so far, and are currently raising a seed round of several $7 million, which would give us 18 months of runway, the majority of which will go towards engineering talent to ramp up our development, asset financing, as well as providing cash buffer. We hope you join us in building an inclusive utility of the future with our network distributed energy storage. With our hardware, each stack being hardware agnostic and capable of abating up to 3 gigatons of CO2 cumulatively at scale by 2050. We're able to, and we hope you join us in our vision of providing and supplying consumer EV charging, democratizing EV ownership, and shifting clean energy and clean electricity over more hours of the day with our distributed battery storage. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Okay, all right, that's great. Let me stop sharing Azolla's poll. Okay, let's turn this up. ElectricFish up, launch it, and then okay, FieldNav, Ben, if you're around, you can start sharing the screen. Yep. Yeah.
Of course, yep. Eric Wish will be presenting for us. Eric, are you here?
Yeah, right here.
Excellent.
Can everybody see and hear me?
Yep. Nice and
Perfect.
clear.
All right, thanks. And I appreciate everyone staying on here so late. I'm calling in from the Boston area, so it's quite late here, and I'll try to make it brief and fun and exciting, and hopefully you'll be excited to invest in this by the end of it. I'm the CEO of FieldNav. We're a software application that was actually spun out and licensed from PG&E's Pacific Gas and Electric Utility out in California. We're solving about a $4.3 billion problem. And our application is already being used in a variety of ways at PG&E, and we're here to scale the application beyond the PG&E utility use case into other utilities across the US and globally. As this slide points out, about 80% of utilities don't have mature plans to develop digitized mobile platforms. And what's really critical about these mobile platforms, especially for field service operations, which is what this mobile platform supports, so inspection processes, so we can prevent things like wildfires and other asset failures, is that without these types of applications and platforms, grid modernization is going to be really difficult because we're not going to have good data on the assets, and we're not going to be able to manage them effectively, which is really required by a lot of these smart assets that will be deployed in the future. So we really focused on enabling the digital toolkit of the future for field workers, both full-time field workers at a utility as well as contract workers, which is there's a huge workforce of those who support utility operations, both on the transmission distribution side for gas and electric. And then also we're building this huge kind of what I'd call data lake of all this information that is going back in the source of truth in the EAM system and the GIS systems, so that we can do more interesting things with that data as well. So we can run machine learning models on that and build new inferences in a way that we can help predict when assets might fail in the future, instead of, the scenario right now is where assets are failing and we're having to send out crews to fix that. And we'd rather have that not happen, particularly our key partner, PG&E. So as we're moving toward this future where we're transforming the grid from what it is now to something in the future, something like FieldNav is going to be very critical to doing this work. As you can see on this slide, this is an illustration of what most utilities have been doing. It's either paper and pencil or paper and pen, or some really kind of clunky interface built out of kind of an 80s or 90s SAP tool, where what we're doing is we're taking that and bringing that to the present and the future, where field workers can pull up the information right on their mobile phone or their iPad, and get to their, get their work orders in advance, go to the assets directly and be navigated to that, know exactly what to look for, eventually integrating things like a digital twin into this and the ability to deploy drones very quickly. Those will all require APIs and is all part of this larger kind of platform of this digital toolkit of the future for field workers. Our team is made up of seasoned individuals. A number of us are serial entrepreneurs. We have an amazing board involved here. Kathy Kay, who was a former CIO of PG&E, who helped lead this project while she was there, is one of our board members and investors. We have Jeremy Kirsch. He was a former O-Power executive who took O-Power and facilitated the sale to Oracle, and then led their software utility business there for a number of years. Quan Lee, he's currently the executive vice president at Saks Fifth Avenue, was at EverQuote, remarkable software architect. And we have some of my colleagues, Frank Yang, who's from ADL Ventures, a board member. And then we also brought some members from the PG&E team into our organization. Paul Cafferty, who was the one who stood up the digital team at PG&E. He's no longer at PG&E, but he's one of our advisors. We brought on Kevin Leonard. He's our product manager. He was actually one of the product managers for this product while I was at PG&E. And then we have Ben, who's part of our BD team, as well as Nolan, who I think is on this call, is one of our co-founders, and then Christian Kirch, who's a former Googler, and he's with us as our CTO. So as we build this company, we are putting together a small convertible note. We have raised part of that. And right now we're doing a $750K pre-seed safe with an $8 million cap. We're using these funds in a pretty limited way, but to help facilitate the migration of the software from PG&E that is being used, so that we can now have the managed service contract with FieldNav, and then we'll be deploying FieldNav for all the use cases that were once internally run for this technology, and now that the technology was spun out and put in its own cloud instance and running independently, we'll be managing several $1 million worth of contracts with PG&E. And then we'll be raising a Series A to scale this beyond PG&E. But we thought we'd reach out to some angel groups, see if they'd like to participate in this unique opportunity. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, stop sharing ElectricFish, Paul, bring FieldNav up, and then for 2 minutes, and then I will open the breakout rooms for Q&A.
I'll take the silence in that everyone's really enthusiastic about this. And I answer everyone's questions in the presentation.
Yeah, I guess they're also busy in kind of like evaluating your startup in the polls as well. Let me check. Oh, interesting. All right, I think I need to create the breakout rooms in the meantime. Automatically sign in. All right. Done. Okay, wait a bit. I will open the breakout room soon. Okay, in the meantime, let me just share FieldNav results on the poll. Okay, I'll stop the recording as well.